Sonic Underground Episode 20, Head Games. After some nice harp music plays, we see stone statues of the head of the heroes, for some reason, with Sonic's mother arguing that the old ways are sometimes best when that's blatantly wrong most of the time, idiot. Sonic says he's hungry, and Manic asks him to give them a hand with all their stuff. Then Sonic orders a chili dog. This is the first time he's been offered a chili dog without it being by a bad guy. Why is he able to trust so easily? I guess there were a million times when he was offered a chili dog off screen with no big deal. Well, not offered, but he's paying for it here. We see Sonic's mother spying on him. I wonder if the pig saw her. And then he gets the chili dogs. His mother laughs while not going to talk to him. She likes him, but she won't go. Seriously, does she have a bomb in her that will blow up if she spends too much time with them? I guess the prophecy says that if she spent time with them, it'd create a chain of events where eventually they'd all die. What, would they be distracted by her? But they need to form the Council of Four. Only then can they take down Robotnik. Then Sonic finds a coconut with a message on it that says he's needed on Speedster Island, and it's a message from their mother. The island's on the center of the South Mobius Sea. It says South Mobius to make a little more sense. Wouldn't it be interesting if the Speedster Island had people who were super fast speedsters? Like, would actually make sense for its title? They avoid swap-out lasers and run through the vehicle to drive away. So why don't the lasers hit the vehicle and damage it? And then they can't use it anymore. Sonic opens up his roof and shoots lasers at the robots. So that's why that roof hole is there. I was about to call it reckless to expose himself like that. Manic drives the vehicle out of the dangerous place, and we see some nice music playing with a tropical kid asking his father when he will teach him how to fish. Yeah, why didn't he teach him already? The young person says he doesn't want a new way of life. And the adult says they have to change in order to survive. That's backwards. Normally it's the youngster who realizes that progress is the only smart option. The father wants money to buy new things and live a new life because they're running out of fish in the sea. And I hate the idea that this episode will be trying to preach to me that the old ways are better just based on one plot. It turns out the bounty hunters are establishing a high-tech beach resort for the rich, and the plan is to move the village so they can make the resort, rather than just take over the houses so that they can be the resort houses. The tribesman says there's no fish in the lagoons, and they can't even feed themselves anymore, so they have no choice but to sell the island or they'll starve to death. However, his son is all emotional, complaining that it's their home, while the smart adult recognizes that it might be the only way, and they all have to make compromises. And yet I'm supposed to side with the kid, when the adult has no choice, and they would starve to death if he didn't do this. Or, at the very least, if they didn't leave their island. Why are these tribesmen talking in English, even if in an accent? He prays to the Guardian Stones, who are just statues of the heroes, when the heroes have never been to this island. How the hell can tribesmen be worshipping recently born royal kids from another culture? Wouldn't they be worshipping long-standing traditional gods from their own culture? Why did the queen ever come here to establish these statues and worship? How could she have made these statues? He says that his father sold out, but he's just being smart to avoid his culture starving to death. Predictably, after he says they're just a legend, oh, it's not that the heroes show up. The Guardian Stones light up with their eyes. What took them so long, if they were able to do that? Why did they prove their existence a lot earlier, the idiots? The heroes are riding over the sea in their vehicle, and a Robotnik patrol has them dodge lasers. So Sonic blasts boat robots with lasers from the roof. The sea gets rough and the heroes are knocked into the water, in a tense moment, and Sonic sinks while the other heroes are able to swim just fine, even Manic, who shouldn't have been taught expensive swimming lessons with his poor upbringing. Aside from the fact that he's a thief and he has no problem with the sewers, they don't take advantage of his. They don't have him be much of a logical poor person. He's a hacking genius, apparently. He's smarter than he looks and sounds. And he can swim and play the drums, which would require a lot of money. The kid calls the heroes the Guardians, and runs away rather than continuing a conversation with them, even though they seem perfectly friendly, forcing the heroes to try to find them again. Why is he doing this? To pad out the episode, I guess. Sonic says he won't be afraid if they play some rock music that he's never heard of before as a Tribes boy, and instead of reacting like not Dracula did, he seems to have no problem with the guitar music, just like Knuckles had no problem with it. Well, I think. I skipped the song, so I wouldn't know. The Tribes boy explains everything to them. Sonya just assumes that the pompous rich guy was Bartleby just from hearing a generic stereotypical description, which just makes it all the more arbitrary that it just has to be Bartleby in particular. Why does he have to show up so much? Manic says there's something familiar about the carvings wanting to stay here. Why would he think they're familiar? I feel like I'm missing a step here. Sonic says there's no way he can read ancient Spidonian, and he shouldn't! That would be terrible writing. Even the character in the story has more logic than the writer does. Why would he be taught how to read it? He's never been here before. He was a baby, and then he was sent to his parents by his mother. Robotnik reveals that he plans to roboticize the villagers once they sign the deal. Why does he wait so long? Is it that he takes a very long time to bring the roboticizers over to the island? Then why bother with the deal at all? He wants Sleet to watch Bartleby so he doesn't reveal the truth to the villagers. I guess he has faith in his morality. Sonic presses a button to hide in a closet, because apparently that closet is pretty high tech, and Bartleby says he's sick of roughing it. He presses a button that has a robot hand grab the heroes and stuffs them in the closet, and then they put a veil over his head. I guess the rich are too lazy to dress themselves, and it's a high technology world. He's mad at Sonya, and says that he's bringing the peasants into the life of luxury by doing this. But Robotnik wouldn't make them rich because he's pure evil. Plus, he wants to roboticize people. Shouldn't he know that? Dingo grabs Sonic disguised as furniture, and the bounty hunters show up with robots. How'd they know to come here for them? It's not like Bartleby called them over here. I guess they are spending all of their time with him, but they should have been with him to begin with when they came into the room. Dingo charges at Sonic, Sonya somersaults in the air, I like that she can do that at least, and he runs into the closet with the robot hand in it dressing him up. The robots shoot lasers for the heroes to dodge and simply cause a hole to show up so they can escape. Sleet says he'd even destroy the village if it meant capturing the hedgehogs. They return to Manic, and the Tribes boy incompetently trips and says he thinks his father is a traitor. He goes with them, and Manic follows them. The village gets destroyed by the construction machine, and Bartleby tells Sleet that they haven't bought the island yet. Why is he complaining about this? Well, I'm surprised that he cares. He's also mad about the robotization plan. At least he's showing morality. But he also lectured Sonya about fighting in Robotnik. And he and his siblings pull a vine to trip the robots, and it gets the robot slammed into a coconut tree. They run away from lasers, and Manic trips, and they all get grabbed by a vine dingo. They're not able to reach their medallions, logically, and the Tribes boy gets grabbed by a robot. After he calls out for help, his father knocks Sleet away, being the actual competent one, and this causes Sleet to press a button by accident that frees the heroes with the laser. Manic jumps on top of a Guardian statue, and the other heroes also use their instruments, causing the Guardian Stones to awesomely walk ahead like mechas, ignore the lasers entirely, and chase the bad guys into their airship, and the Sonya statue throws something to make the airship crash into the sea. But they promptly drown, no of course not, and Dingo is used as a paddle. How did Manic know to do this? Manic says they can play a few notes, and the Guardian Stones will start working again. But the tribe doesn't have their instruments. The father says he was wrong to try to sell the island, with the notification that they now have fish to catch. They clearly are screwed either way, and at least the son admits that he was only doing what he thought was best. Then the Guardian Stones give the heroes the ship they need, despite the heroes not playing instruments to control them. The story ends with the heroes playing music with a tribe of people who never once react realistically to hearing electric guitar for the first time with no exposure to it all. I was worried about the episode because it tried to preach to me that the old ways are the better ways. The story is about a tribesman trying to sell his island to Robotnik because he's running out of fish, probably thanks to Robotnik, and that running out of fish problem never gets resolved, so they're screwed. Why are they pretending there's a happy ending? The tribes boy is complaining about things having to change for his people, while the adult is accepting of it because he has no other choice, being the mature one. It's realistic for a kid to hate having to move away from his home, but realistically they'd have to do so anyways. I like that the kid realized his father was just doing what he thought was best, rather than it really being about the old ways being better for no real reason. It's just another story where someone makes a deal with Robotnik that goes awry. Robotnik's plan to robotize the villagers came as a twist to me because it's been a few episodes since he mentioned that he does that. But considering that the people have run out of food, they'd be better off roboticized than starving to death. They might be cured eventually of robotization. Do they have any way of escaping the island? How long would they have to paddle? They're doomed! Also, it was never really explained why Manic can read the ancient Speedonian carvings, and figured that for no reason at all, they can play musical instruments that didn't exist a while ago. That they can play modern musical instruments to make the Guardian Mechas activate. There's no reason the Queen would have come here. She doesn't have the ability to make mechas like this based on her children. And I know Manic couldn't have been here before because she ditched him to be raised by a thief who would teach him the thieving you need to help with heroes the minute she had to. He was a baby with her, and then he was brought to his adoptive father as a baby. The idea is cool, but the logic falls apart. I was expecting an explanation, and the writer forgot to give us one.